I never thought I'd see him again. You know how sometimes life feels like it's finally smoothing out? Like you've left the past behind, the pain, the humiliation, the betrayal, locked in a box and buried somewhere too deep to dig up again? I felt that way before Kelly. It had taken me over a year to even feel normal after what happened with my ex. I'd loved her with a kind of blind, unconditional certainty. We'd lived together for over a year, when I found out she was sleeping with someone else. Not just anyone, Mike. A guy she met through some mutual friends. A guy who, by all accounts, knew I existed. A guy who walked into my home, into my life, and knowingly wrecked it. I'd walked in on them. That memory is seared into my bones. I still remember how her shirt was halfway on, the way she looked at me with wide, startled eyes. His smug silence. The sound of my keys hitting the ground. The heavy weight of betrayal wrapping around my lungs. She cried. Apologized. Blamed it on boredom, on me being too emotionally distant. I didn't stick around long enough to hear the rest. I left that night with nothing but my phone and wallet. Crashed on a friend's couch. Blocked her number 2 days later. And for the longest time, I didn't date. I didn't want to. Something inside me broke that day. Something that never fully healed. But then I met Kelly. She was refreshing. Kind without being performative. Playful, smart, genuinely interested in getting to know me without rushing it. There was something grounded in her that felt safe. After 6 months of casual coffee dates and late-night drives, I realized I actually smiled again. Laughed. Looked forward to someone's texts. We became official about half a year after our first date. Kelly knew I had been hurt in my last relationship. I didn't go into graphic detail at the start, but she knew I'd been cheated on and that it had wrecked me. Then came the night of her company's summer party. It was held at a rooftop bar downtown. She looked incredible, sleek black dress, hair pinned up just enough to show the elegant line of her neck. She was proud to introduce me to her team, her supervisors, and her friends. We bounced from group to group, laughing, sipping cocktails, and enjoying the warm breeze. And then I saw him. Mike. I wish I could describe the surge of emotion that hit me in that moment. Shock. Rage. The deep punch of a memory I thought I'd buried. But there he was, standing by the bar, grinning like nothing had ever happened. He looked right at me, and for a moment I could swear he recognized me too, but he didn't say a word. Neither did I. Later, when we were back at her place, I sat on the edge of her couch, heart pounding. Kelly, I said, voice tighter than I meant. That guy from the party, Mike. How do you know him? She blinked, clearly caught off guard. Mike. He works in marketing. We've known each other for a few years. I nodded, feeling the tightness grow in my chest. Were you ever involved? She hesitated. Not long, but enough. Yeah, a while ago. Before I met you. We were casually seeing each other. Friends with benefits, really. I went quiet. She looked uncomfortable. Is something wrong? I looked her in the eye and told her everything. For the first time, I said his name. I told her Mike was the man my ex cheated on me with. That I walked in on them in my apartment. That he knew I existed and didn't care. Kelly's face shifted. First shock. Then guilt. I had no idea, she said softly. Oh my God, I had no idea he did something like that. If I'd known. I shook my head. I'm not blaming you. You didn't know. But now you do. She reached for my hand. Nothing is going on between us. We stopped years ago. I don't even think of him that way anymore. Especially not since I met you. I wanted to believe her. And part of me did. But another part, an older, darker part, kept whispering doubt in my ear. He's still around you every day, I said. He's not just the guy you used to hook up with. He's the guy who wrecked me. And now he's in your office, laughing at whatever inside jokes you guys used to share, and you expect me to be okay with that. She looked pained. I get it. I really do. But I swear, there's nothing between us. If you want me to keep distance from him, I will. Hell, I'll transfer departments if it makes you feel better. I didn't ask her to do that. Not yet. We sat in silence for a bit. Eventually, we laughed a little. She made a joke about how I probably wouldn't want to come to any more work events. I said I wouldn't let that jerk keep me from enjoying time with her. I was trying. I really was. But that night, when she fell asleep beside me, I lay awake staring at the ceiling. All I could think about was how it happened the first time. How my ex swore up and down that she'd never do that to me. How I believed her. And now here I was, with someone who'd slept with the same man, who still saw him every day at work. I hated the situation more than I could put into words. But Kelly was different. I kept telling myself that. A few days later, we talked again. I explained more about how Mike's betrayal wasn't just about sex. It was about how he made me feel small, disposable, humiliated. I told her about the night I walked in, about the fight, about how I couldn't eat for days afterward. She listened, held me, said she was sorry, promised she'd never put me through that kind of pain. She also told me that things between her and Mike had ended long before she met me, that she'd grown out of that phase, that she wanted something real, that she wanted me. I chose to trust her. For the next month, things seemed normal again. We avoided the topic of Mike. She didn't bring up work much, and I didn't ask. We spent weekends at my place, watched dumb reality shows, cooked dinner together. She'd started to leave a few things in my bathroom drawer. Toothbrush. Hair ties. It felt like a future was forming. Then it happened. She called me late one night. Her voice was shaking. Mike texted me, she said. Twice. Then he showed up at my desk today. What? He asked if I was happy. Said he could tell I missed him. I told him to back off. But then he got weird. My jaw clenched. Weird how? He made some comment about how you'd never satisfy me like he used to. I ignored him. But then he got too close. Like physically. I had to step away. You okay? Yeah. I told HR. What did they say? They're launching an investigation. I saved the texts. And 2 people overheard what he said at work. It's not the first time he's been creepy apparently. Just the last straw, I guess. The next day, she texted me again. He's fired. It took a moment to register. I reread the message twice. Fired. I let out a long breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding for over a year. She blocked him on everything. Showed me the proof. There was no lingering affection in her voice when she talked about him. Just disgust. Disbelief. Relief. I sat with her on the couch that night, arms wrapped around her waist, her head on my shoulder. I'm sorry, she whispered. For all of it. I didn't ask for this mess either. But I'm not going to let him ruin what we have. She looked me dead in the eyes. If he ever tries anything again, she added with a smirk, I'll tell the whole damn office about how unimpressive he was. I laughed. And for once it wasn't hollow. I don't know where we'll go from here. Some scars don't ever fade completely. I still flinch when I hear Mike's name. Still get a knot in my chest when I see certain photos or hear songs that remind me of the past. But I'm choosing Kelly. Not because she's perfect. Not because the situation is neat or easy, but because she fought for us. Because she stood up for herself and for me. Because despite every trigger and every ghost, she chose me, and I chose her. Maybe love isn't about finding someone who hasn't been touched by darkness. Maybe it's about finding someone who's willing to walk with you through it, hand in hand. Even if it means occasionally stepping around the ghosts that follow you home.